How's it going, everyone? This is Jason. This is my very first video blog, or vlog as some would call it. I am a former reviewer of horrornews.net. My blurb can be found on the back of the re-release of the original I Spit on Your Grave with Roger Eberts. Rest in peace, Roger. The reason I'm doing this vlog is to add to the blog that is on the 2124 page in the Chamber 13 Death House. The reason is because the blog is about true crime, so the vlog is going to be reviewing true crime documentaries and films. And the reason why true crime is such a relevant piece of the 2124 page is because the book that Simon and I wrote is pretty much based on Crime and Punishment. And Crime and Punishment and true crime kind of go hand in hand, so they go well together. The first film that I'm going to review is Ed Gein. A little bit of history on Ed Gein. He was a serial killer in the 1950s. He was infamously known for keeping the faces of his victims and making dead skin masks, which I'll also get into in a second. He kept the bones of his victims and made furniture. He kept the flesh of them and made lampshades. Several films have been based on the Plainsfield, Wisconsin killer, Ed Gein. Very loosely, though. I must say that the film Ed Gein that I'm about to review is the most accurate description I've seen to date of him. So, there was Psycho, which also touched a bit of his weird relationship with his mother. There's Silence of the Lambs. Buffalo Bill is based on Ed Gein. There's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mostly Leatherface is based on Ed, but the entire family kind of has pieces of him here and there. There's Three on a Meat Hook. There's Deranged. The main character in that movie, Ezra, is based on Ed Gein. And there's also a short by Jim Van Beber, who also did Charlie's Family, later known as the Manson Family, which you should check out. Roadkill 2. It's got Ed peppered all the way through it. It's pretty sick movie. It's a little short, but yeah, it's an awesome movie. Back to the dead skin mask thing. The original title of Ed Gein was In the Light of the Moon, which is derived from the Slayer song off of Seasons in the Abyss, Dead Skin Mask, which is also written about Ed Gein. And rest in peace, Jeff. Yeah, the film is written by Steve Johnston, who also wrote The Hillside Strangler and Ted Bundy. It's directed by Chuck Perillo, who also directed The Hillside Strangler, and he also directed the sequel to Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Henry 2. The main character that plays Ed is mastered by Steve Railsback. Most of you may know him from the classic Helter Skelter adaptation. He nailed Charlie Manson as well, and he does just as good a job in Ed Gein. For you newer horror fans, you may know him from The Devil's Rejects by Rob Zombie. He was Kenny, the sheriff. And he's also been in a Twilight Zone episode and the old HBO series The Hitchhiker. The film is very well done. Like I was saying before, it's the most accurate description I've seen to date. It mixes the brutality that actually took place, along with a little bit of black humor. And I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'm not going to show you any clips because, for one, they're copyrighted, and for two, you know, most writers and directors want you to go out and buy the movie instead of watching all these clips from reviewers, unless it's on a preview, of course. But there's one part in the movie where a woman asks him about shrunken heads. I'm not even going to tell you what she asked him, and he, like, okay, not only does Steve Railsback get into the character of Ed, but he also makes Ed get into what he's talking about. Like, when she asked him about the shrunken heads, you could just tell his enthusiasm as he's explaining it to her. And he was also asked to explain slippage, which he's all excited again while he's explaining. You could tell from Steve Railsback that he really put a lot into the character. Which also, interesting fact, he was said to have read many books on Ed Gein prior to filming the movie. So he studied a lot. And I could also say that for Steve Johnston, the writer, he did his homework, because this is very accurate. Chuck Perillo, to be a director, you don't really have to do research on the character, but you should be a good director. And Chuck is a good director. The visuals that he gives you are awesome. The movie, like I was saying before, it's very dark, but it has to be. It does have a slight bit of black humor in it, but not too much to overbear the darkness and disturbing aspects of the film. It goes into his relationship with his mother. It goes into his grave robbing. It goes into his murders that he committed in description. So yeah, I guess that's all for now, because this is my first vlog, excuse me, like I was saying. So they'll be longer they'll get longer as we progress. But thank you for watching, and once again, thank you for checking out the 2124 Chamber 13 Death House page. It will be updated every Wednesday with a blog, and possibly either every Wednesday or maybe every other Wednesday with a vlog, a review. So yeah. And by the way, last weekend I had the pleasure of meeting Steve Railsback and Steve Johnston, and they both signed my copy of Ed Gein, originally titled In the Light of the Moon. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. Once again, I want to thank everyone for checking out my vlog, the blog, and the page 2124. See you next Wednesday. Later.